Welcome to Ready, Set, Sold with your host, Bryan Vogt. Are you wanting or even thinking about selling your house but don't know where to start? Good thing you found Ready, Set, Sold. And now, real estate broker, Bryan Vogt.
Good morning. Welcome to Ready, Set, Sold. I am your host, Bryan Vogt. How are you all doing this fine February Saturday? Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. I know I am. And hopefully you are too. We've got some great topics to talk about today. One of the things that we'll be talking about, really be honing in on, most people in the Metro East already know that the military is a large part of the housing. That's also leasing. That's also buying and selling. And this is the time. We're just coming right upon it, and that's in March. March is when they get most of their orders coming in. They know they're coming here to Sky Air Force Base in the Metro East, and they're going to have to make some decisions. Of course, the orders go the same way, and the orders go that people are told that they're moving out of the Sky Air Force Base area and going someplace else. So that's always kind of a situation where it's a timing thing, what to do. Sometimes there's some indecision of what to do, how to do it. And that's why I'm so happy to have our special expert on today and guest and sponsor, Renee Wittenauer of Cecil Property Management.
Good morning, Bryan. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. And that's a lot of things that we're talking about here, so we'll kind of break it into segments. But I think the first thing that maybe we want to talk about is that last week, those who were listening talked about that we're going to have a surge that we haven't seen before as far as the market being very, very hot. We haven't seen this in a very long time, and the spring market's going to be hot. But that creates somewhat of a dilemma because the military coming in, not everybody's looking to buy. It could be a scarcity situation. We don't know that yet. But that's why having somebody like you guys and any property management know what the military needs are. And they have some specific needs versus someone renting locally, correct?
Correct. Yeah, a lot of military, just needs as far as what their families want. But, not everybody wants to live on base. They want to live off base in a community. And it's a community that they're not familiar with. So they just need that extra attention to detail to help them figure out where they want to live and how they want to live for a few years with their family.
Right, and I think that's something that sometimes goes unnoticed because the military needs, at least on the buying side, we come in, but I'm sure it's the same thing on the leasing side. Their timing is so critical. It's not again like the average maybe renter where somebody's coming in and they kind of, I won't say lollygag, but they have their time and maybe not this month and they're living in an apartment right now and they can go and maybe next month and the timing of it. And what we find on the buying side, I would think that same thing on the leasing side, that when they come in, they need attention right now. I mean, they have to be a priority, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of them, they may be showing up on Friday and they're pulling out of town on Saturday, and they got those select few days that they need to find a house. So you really have to find out what their specific needs are so you don't waste their time showing them properties that may not work for them. The move-in timing is very, very critical, too, because the military is moving them at a certain time and they have their orders and the mover scheduled for a specific date. So you really have to have everything done like clockwork because that's what they need you to do in order to make it as less stressful on them as possible.
What would be the timing thing? You've had so much experience working with the military. What does a timing thing look like? So they do come in Friday. Is it a situation where they can literally start moving in on a Saturday? Is that too short? Is there still a time lag? What does typically a military person expect?
So I've had both. I've moved people in on same day before. So if they come to town and they show up with, a small U-Haul truck and they say we can get movers coming in on Monday, you want to do what you have to do in order to make that happen for them. Nobody wants to do a double move, whether you're military or not. They don't want to have to go live in a hotel or temporary on base for a couple days. So definitely expediting things as you need to and going that extra mile to move them in then. I'm gearing up a lot of our owners and our team for coming up with spring break and Easter, a lot of military people are going to come into town, so we'll be really busy over those days, and they might be looking, but not to move until May or June. But they want to see inventory now. They want to lock in something now while they're here. They want to sign a lease. They want to put down a deposit, and then they want to leave so they don't have to worry about it again. And then they want to show up on June 1st and have the property ready for them so they can just do a straight move and have all of their household goods come, and then they're done, and, they don't have to worry about it. So you get them both. I think you get a good influx of people that do need that quick, super fast, I have to make this happen move. But then we also, like I said, get the people that they don't want to move for 2 or 3 months, but they want to get it done and lock it in so they have the peace of mind and know that they have a place and they're not stressed at the last minute.
That's an excellent point, too. And I think sometimes people that aren't in the military, that maybe either leasing or if they're selling their house, that's a great point to make, because it works the same thing on the buying side. That many times they'll come in March, but they want to try to make the move in May or June when they actually have to be here, or maybe a week or two beforehand. And getting those things lined up, getting that, well, quite frankly, Renee, you know this too, wherever you're living, you got to know where you're going to live. Okay, that's a big, big stress point. I think sometimes if you're non-military, and I've not ever served, but just working with somebody military, and I know, Renee, you have too, is that it's hard to imagine that you're told, this is where you're going, go find something, and that's your time, right? I mean, that's it. I mean, it's not necessary that, again, that you wait till next month, and I think that's such an excellent point. On the buying side, when a seller's looking to sell a house, but also on the leasing, if you're trying to lease something, be prepared that there could be a month or 2 month delay, correct?
Correct. Right. Yeah, there definitely could be a delay. On the same token, too, you have, if a house is available July 1st, but you have somebody that looks at it and they need to move somewhere June 15th, you don't want to be black and white and be like, no, I'm sorry, it's not available till July 1st. We'll go to the owners and we'll say, is there any way you can move out early? Can you move out 2 weeks early? Can you even get out 1 week early? So you want somebody that's going to try to, explore all avenues too, to make it work, because it might be that, somebody does need to move out earlier to get somebody in, to accommodate this other move. It might be holding the house longer than you normally would. So yeah, definitely a timeline with it. And, you want, whenever you're looking for a property manager to help you do that, especially military, you want to find a property manager that's going to partner with it. Not just be, these are the steps, here's our rules, go out and find yourself, let us know if you like anything. I mean, truly find a partner that's going to help give them that information and welcome to this area and make sure all the logistics are taken care of. So all they have to do is show up and move in.
And I think that is so critical, and that's one thing I love about what you do. You've been doing this for forever, and just understanding that simple thing that is just, it's like you said, it's just not go, here's a list of houses, go drive by, hope good luck, let me know if we can get in there. It's more of, let's win this together. We understand your needs. We appreciate that, and I think also, if you're looking to lease your house, and you know this, Renee, but maybe to bring a little bit more light to it, this isn't usually month-to-month situations, right? This could be a year, this could possibly be 2 years, whatever. So this is long-term, so this is a win-win-win for everybody.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I love 2 to 3 year leases. A lot of military you get are locked in for that 3 years, unless, of course, they get military orders. So you always want to make sure that your leases have the military orders in there for both the landlord as well as the tenant, too. Because if you do have an owner military, they could get orders coming back here. So yeah, I mean, it's all super, super important, but getting that 2 to 3 year lease, it has less turnover, less expenses, less worry, less headaches and everything for the owner as well as the tenant. So I love locking in for those long-term leases, because then nobody has to worry about it and it's a good experience for everybody.
And I love that too. And I think just one last point on that, because we'll be talking more about that on the people that are needing to move in the next segment. But I think that what's so important too is that the military, they're just great anyway. I mean, for what they do, the sacrifices they make, but they can be by far, I would think you would agree, some of the best renters you could possibly ever have for your house.
Yes, yeah, they are. They have an extra level of accountability, and it's knock on wood, my military tenants, those long-term tenants, ends up being a good experience for everybody. If you have an owner that has to rent really quick because they got last-minute orders and there's not enough time for them to sell it, it works out great because usually we get the house back in good condition and the owners can just throw it up, back on the sales market 3 years later, and it's, just as they just moved out of the house, not that there's been a tenant there for 3 years. So they really do take care of it like it's their own, as, most good tenants do, but definitely the military.
Awesome. Hey, we ran out of time in this segment. We'll be back to the next segment because we'll be talking about the military that are leaving, that maybe they want to come back, but they want to lease the property and what they need to do. Listen, Ready, Set, Sold with your host, Bryan Vogt. I've been talking with Renee Wittenauer. We'll be back in a few.